All right, so I've got some stuff laid out here and I will take the camera and show you guys around the room and whatnot. But first we have this guy right here. And this was like $20 on Amazon. And of course I will try to link everything that I am showing you guys. Some of the stuff is from TikTok shop, some of it's from Amazon, some of it's from like Shein. I'll try to figure out where I got it and link it. And then on the topic of lighting, we have this guy right here. This is the tofu light. Look at that. He's a whole moment. And this guy is so small, literally just clips onto anything. I use this primarily when I'm doing phone content. When I first started out, all of my content was phone content. So I would just clip this guy right here. There's like a little hole for the camera. You just turn the knob to cut it on. You can adjust the brightness, you can adjust, and it even has different colors. Look how cool that is. So you can do different colors, but usually I just leave it like this. And then look at that difference. Let me put it right here. It's super, super bright. And this isn't even at 100. Yeah, it's at 87. So yeah, super, super bright. This is going to level up your content and you just clip it on your phone or whatever you're using and you're good. As I'm sure you guys have noticed by now, I have two different filming setups. So I have my nail studio here and then I film a lot in my office on my computer when I'm doing more talkative style videos. And so I will also clip this guy on my computer screen. And there's another one that I use that I'll show you when we get into the office. All right, so this is the Sony kit lens. I only use this when I'm filming overhead like this because it's got variable zoom. But the lens that I primarily use and the one I'm using right now is the Yongnuo f1.8 11mm. And it's from Amazon. It's like $300, which is really, really cheap for a lens because once you actually get into like the world of cameras, you realize how expensive this stuff is and that the thing that really matters the most isn't even the camera body, it's the lens. And that's where most of your money is gonna go. But again, when you're first starting out, just using your phone is totally fine. The quality is very similar. And although you can always tell a difference between a real camera with a good lens and a phone, it's very negligible, especially when you're posting short form content like for TikTok or Instagram. It matters a little more when you get into YouTube, but again, I was filming YouTube videos with my phone just like this. And something that really, really helps when you are filming with your phone is one of these guys. This just magnetizes to the back of my phone and it's a mirror screen so that I can use the back camera and still see what I'm doing. And the light that I'm using right now, I will show you closer shots of it, is from a TikTok shop. Very inexpensive for a very, very good light. I would say this is like almost professional quality. I've used the stand-up ring lights before, but this thing blows them all out of the water. Something you want to add as you get further along is backdrop. Of course, you want to have like some ambiance. I use this light here. This one's broken and I did just order a custom one. I can't wait for that one to come in. But another thing I do to give ambiance is use these little guys, and these are also from TikTok shop. Very, very inexpensive. They're rechargeable. They have a motion sensor and they just add really nice ambiance. You can change the color and the intensity. So that just gives some really nice mood lighting there. All right, now let's talk about audio because audio and lighting are arguably the two most important things, sometimes even more important than a nice camera. Because you can have the nicest camera in the world, but if your audio sucks, nobody's gonna wanna watch your videos. And if your lighting sucks, your camera is not gonna be able to overcompensate for that. So as for audios, I currently use the DJI Mic 2. These are like almost $300. I got them on sale for I think $180 at Best Buy open box. And as you can see, they obviously sound really, really great, but I totally understand that when you first start out, these are very out of budget for most people. So what I was using up until I got my DJIs last month was the Maono mics, and these are $40 on Amazon. And they're these cute little clip-on mics, and honestly, the audio quality that comes out of this is incredible. I still use this, especially when I film on my phone, I will use these guys. And then when I film in my office, I use the Logitech Blue Yeti, and that one I got on sale for I think $80. And then lastly, we have mounting equipment, tripods, etc. So one of my favorite things about these lights right here is that it has the phone mount on it already. So that's one less thing I have to worry about. In fact, I love these so much. I actually have two of them. You'll see the second one when I show you my view. And then I use this guy here to mount my camera. And I love this arm so much because it is completely movable. So it goes all the ways, all the directions, very easy to use, and just stays right here clamped on my desk. And then whenever I'm not using it, I just put it out the way. And this one I think was like $40 on Amazon. And then as far as a tripod, I'm just using, I think it's Ulanzi tripod from Amazon. Nothing fancy. Tripod, you can use literally anything. Get like the cheapest thing you can find. Okay, now let me show you my view and what I see when I'm filming. So here is what I'm looking at currently. And so you see I have this one here, I have that one over here, then that's my light right there. And then here is my camera, my Sony ZV-E10. You can see the screen there so that I can always see what I'm doing, make sure that I'm in focus. And then hanging off right there, which should really be up there, but I'm lazy, is my DJI receiver. And then of course my TV where I can catch up on Bridgerton while I do my nails. I do prop my light up on this seat. I like it when it's like up there and kind of shining down on me so that it doesn't create like super harsh shadows. And I don't have clients, but sometimes my friends or family will come and I'll do nails for them. And so that's a nice cute little chair that I also got on Amazon. And then I love that ottoman thing right there, also from Amazon. It was literally like $40 and it stores a lot of my video equipment and extra nail supplies. And so that is that for my desk. Now I'm gonna take y'all to my office and show you what I use there. And you'll be very surprised to see what I film with when I'm in my office. And no, it's not my Sony. Okay, and here is my office, and it is a mess, but no, I'm not going to clean it up for this video because this is real life. Right here are my trees. I absolutely love these, and I do keep them on even when I'm not filming because I just love the vibe that it gives the office. This is my husband's area. We are also gamers. Couples that game together, stay together. All right, and so here is my desk, and you'll see I have this light here. So I'm either using the tofu light or this guy. And this one is also from TikTok Shop, and oh my God, it's got the power of 1,000 suns. Absolutely love this thing. In fact, because the lighting in here is so crappy, I'm gonna put this on my camera so I can show y'all. I'm gonna clip this right on here so I can show you what a difference it makes. Look at that. And that is the fake keyboard I give my son to play with so that he thinks he is also playing the video game. There is my Logitech Blue Yeti, and what I film my office content with is literally just this Logitech Brio 4K camera. I got it on Amazon, and I will say for a webcam, the quality of that thing is quite impressive. And if anyone is wondering what I use for a gaming PC, it is the Alienware Aurora R16. And I know what you guys are gonna say, build it yourself, nerd. But sorry, I love my pre-built Alienware. And I love having Dell customer support in case anything ever goes wrong. One time, they literally walked me through installing an aftermarket liquid cooler. So shout out to Dell for being super cool like that. As you guys can see, there is a lot that goes into content creation, which is why it's always so funny when people say that I do this for the money, because where? Where is the money? In fact, I have spent a bunch of money. The camera that I'm filming with alone is $900 and the lens is an additional $300. Any money that I would have made on YouTube last year, that doesn't even cover half of what I've spent just on filming gear alone. I do this because I love it. And that is why you should do it too. And I know people crap on the big time influencers, like when Michaela said that she worked so hard and that it was so hard and everybody laughed at her because like, oh my God, no, poor influencer, it's so hard. But I can say this as somebody who also has a real job. It is hard. It is hard and it is a lot of work. And for the majority of content creators, it is unpaid work, which is why a lot of people take brand sponsorships and all that stuff. But I'm an idiot and I value my credibility over the product sponsorships. But at the end of the day, my opinion can't be bought or rented. But it really sucks doing all of this work for practically free. So like I said, you really do have to love it. And coming up, I think I am going to be a little more open to sponsorships and brand partnerships, but I'm going to try to do that with stuff outside of the nail world. So if you see me promoting a toothpaste in the middle of a nail video, just shh. All right, guys, that was it for this one. Whew, I know this was a long one, but I've been wanting to make this for quite some time because I just wanted to show like the different sides of micro influencing and that content creation really isn't all it's cracked up to be, and it's not a walk in the park, but there are some really positive things that come out of it. And so I kind of wanted to share both sides, as well as show you guys my behind the scenes and show you that you can get started with content creating for like less than $100. And still make some really high quality content. Because at the end of the day, while having crisp footage and the perfect lighting and the best audio is obviously great and will attract viewership, the most important thing is the quality of what you are saying and the benefit that you can provide to other people. And also, I will say that content creation becomes much easier if you do have a niche and like a dedicated place for it. Because as you guys can see, even with a dedicated space, it can be really messy. And the last thing I ever want is for my house to look like a content creator's paradise. I can't imagine walking through an influencer's house and it's just gonna be like tripods and ring lights everywhere. And that is exactly what I don't want, which is why I stick to this one type of content, not only because it's what I love and what I set out to do when I started content creation, but also because I generally like to keep my private life private and separate from content creation. And when you first start out, you're really going to burn yourself out trying to do all these different things and trying to do the get ready with me's and day in my life. And the harsh reality is that no one freaking cares about a day in your life because they haven't yet become invested in you as a content creator. They don't know what you have to offer them yet, and they do not care about your regular daily life. So my biggest advice is don't waste time doing those things. If you want to start in content creation, it should be because you're passionate and you have something that you want to share with the world, not just because you want to be an influencer. So find your style, find what you love, and then stick to that. Maybe later, once you've grown a bit of a following and a community, you can start sharing bits and pieces of your life and people will actually care, because once people have become invested in you as a person and a creator, then they're going to start being more curious about your life. So yeah, I hope all of this was helpful. If you are wanting to get into content creation, you should, because the worst that can happen is you don't like it and then you stop. But the best that can happen is that it changes your life in many ways. I think it's important to note that this is a job, sometimes an unpaid one, but it is a job. Sometimes you love your job, sometimes you hate it, and that's the beauty of it. You can just stop. But I truly encourage everyone to at least try it, because it can be really fun and really rewarding. And you never know, you might be one of those lucky few that makes it to the 1 million followers, but you won't know unless you try. But that should never be your motivation for starting in the first place, because the chances of actually getting there are slim to none. And you're going to burn out long before that happens if you don't actually believe in what you're saying and are passionate about the content that you put out. Alrighty, so as always, if you aren't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any of my videos. It helps me out tremendously. And I'm glad I finally got to show y'all how much I actually make off of this, because again, the accusations that I do this for the money are quite frankly ridiculous when you look at how much money I actually make. Let me know in the comments below if this inspired you to start creating content, or if you're already creating content, how you like it or don't like it. I can't wait to hear from you guys. As always, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one.